This is a plane, and this is one of the passengers on board. In the blink of an eye, this plane starts moving through weather turbulence, so this passenger finds himself trapped between the sky and the earth. He finds himself above one of the Alaska ice mountains, which is considered a cut-off area empty of humans. Here, he must determine his fate, either death or life. To know what happened, we must go back in events. Our story begins in the frozen atmosphere of Alaska, where we meet a person named Winston, who works as an accountant for one of the largest drug dealers in America. We learn that he is hiding in one of the huts and was trying to protect his food in the microwave, which is basically broken. But after many attempts, he manages to turn it on. He hears a sound near the window, and when he goes to see it, he sees a wild animal. Winston gets scared and panics. As soon as he returns to his food to prepare it, the police raid the hut and arrest him. The air marshal, Madeline, comes and arrests him. They handcuffed him and took him away. He asks them to make a deal. She tells him that the deal with you is that you testify against the drug dealer named Mortini, for whom Winston himself was working. In exchange for his testimony, he asked them to provide him with protection and give him full immunity. Madeline contacted the headquarters command and informed them of Winston's conditions. Indeed, they agreed to his conditions and informed her that she would move him for trial in a few days. Now we move to the airport and see Winston as he boards the civilian plane. He was annoyed by the state of the plane. He wanted a better one. She tells him that next time, try to hide in Miami so we can get you a better plane than this. She chained him to the seat and asked him to be quiet. From here, she calls her friend Caroline, who works with her, and tells her that she will be in the city of Anchorage within a few hours. But her friend informs her that the judge for Winston's case has been replaced by one who is more strict and does not accept any delay for the trial, so they must arrive on time. Then the pilot, named Daryl, comes and meets the agent. After that, he asks her to sit in the back near Winston, but she tells him she prefers to stay away from him because he talks a lot. She asks Winston to be quiet and not say a word. As for Daryl, he asks for takeoff permission. Indeed, he takes off with the plane from the runway, and things are normal and smooth. Then the plane's journey begins over the frozen Alaska mountains, and they face air turbulence. Madeline asks Daryl about the turbulence and tells him, "Is your flight always like this?" He doesn't hear her and asks her to put on the headphones. We learn that he is playing music. She was surprised by his behavior. From here, he offers her a cigarette, but she tells him that she quit smoking. As for Winston, he was talking to them, but they didn't hear him. The agent notices Daryl's neck and that there are scratch marks on it. She asks him about their cause, and he tells her it's because of shaving and not to worry about it. From here, he asks her about Winston and says, "Why are you chaining him with chains even though you said he is just a witness?" She tells him because he might escape, and she doesn't want to take a risk and leave him without restraints. After a while, the radio on the plane malfunctions. She asks about the problem, and he tells her that it's normal, he knows the way and doesn't need the navigation system. The journey continues in the mountains, and Daryl was trying to start a conversation with Madeline. He asks her about her work and how long she has been working there. She tells him that she has been working for 7 years. Suddenly, a bird hits the plane. They all get scared, but the pilot managed to control the plane, and things return to normal. Winston, in the back, sees a paper and tries to pull it with his foot. This paper is the license of the real pilot of the plane. We learn here the great disaster, which is that Daryl is not the pilot, and the picture does not look like him at all. Winston gets nervous and tries to call Madeline, but she couldn't hear because of the headphones. He thought of something to get her attention, so he cut a button from his shirt and threw it at her. She notices it and lifts the headphones. He tells her, "I want to talk to you about an important matter," but she refused to talk to him. He told her, "I want you to give me something that fell from me on the floor," but she didn't care and put the headphones back on her ear. Daryl asks her about him, and she tells him that Winston feels sick. As for Daryl, he took a bag to give it to him. When he turned toward Winston, Madeline noticed that there was blood on Daryl's shirt. She started to doubt him and asked him, "How did you know we were going to the place we want?" He told her this is likely because those who travel by air go to these places. After that, she asks him to contact the command headquarters to report their arrival. He was trying to contact the headquarters and tells her that there is no response to the call, and because of the mountains, the signal is always weak. She began to doubt him more and was monitoring the plane's altitude. He told her, "Don't be afraid, I won't let the plane fall here." After that, she asked him about a person and told him that he was the one who moved us last week, and his name is Jones. He told her, "I know this pilot, he is my friend, and we always stay up late together and he is very nice." She told him that Jones is a girl, not a man. He realized she had exposed him, and quickly she pulled the gun and pointed it at him, but he was resisting her. Finally, he managed to knock the gun from her hands. But after that, she hit him on his face. Here, he pulled a knife and pointed it at her, but she bit his hand and tried to keep him away from her. But he came at her, hit her on the face, and she lost consciousness. He tied her hands and asked Winston to be quiet and not make any sound. He told him that Mr. Martini is annoyed with you and wants you dead as soon as possible. Winston said to him, "I can give you $1 million in exchange for letting me escape." As for Daryl, he said to him, "I don't believe someone like you has $1 million." Winston tells him that he used to take money from Martini while Martini was making billions, so he didn't notice the money Winston took. Here, Madeline began to regain consciousness. He tells him that you are a liar, and my mission is to kill you, and I must execute it and get rid of your testimony against Martini. Then he goes and checks on Madeline, and makes sure she is unconscious. He goes back and talks to Winston. Suddenly, Madeline regained consciousness and managed to take the taser and hide it. Daryl takes the tape and wraps it around her neck to strangle her, but she shocks him in his neck and he passes out immediately. As for Winston, he suffers from a phobia and starts to suffocate. She was trying to calm him down. Daryl attacks her immediately and tries to strangle her. At the same moment, the autopilot mode turns off and the plane begins to fall. In the end, Daryl passes out, so Madeline pushes him away from her. As for Winston, he asks her to pull the plane's handle before they hit the ground. Quickly, Madeline goes and controls the plane and returns it to its path. From here, she finds the autopilot button and turns it on so the plane stabilizes. She was trying to calm Winston and talk to him, but he was in a state of shock and tells her that he urinated on himself. She gets up and looks for something to cut the tape that tied her hands, but she couldn't. Winston offers to help her. Indeed, she agrees, and after she managed to free her hands, she tied Daryl. Winston asked her to kill him and told her if he regained consciousness, he might kill us in the mountains. She said to him that we currently need him because the plane won't fly by itself all the way, and killing him will cause us both to be imprisoned, not just you. She tried to pull him to the side of the plane to tie him up, but she couldn't. Winston told her, "I can help you, but free my restraints." Indeed, she agreed and opened the chains from him. She asked to open his hand, but here she refused. Finally, they started pulling Daryl, so she tied his feet and began searching for the ID. She found a paper in his pocket and saw something in it she tried to hide from Winston. Winston asked her to see what was written, and she refused, but he insisted on her more than once. She gave him the paper, and he saw a picture of Madeline, a picture of him, and finally a picture of his mother's house. He realized they were monitoring his mother's house and his mother might be killed. He started to get agitated and nervous, but Madeline started to calm him down and told him that you must control yourself until we land on the ground. From here, they pulled Daryl and tied his hand to the plane. Madeline returned to the pilot's seat. She had no idea about flying the plane. The plane's journey continued in the mountains. Madeline asked Winston about Daryl and said, "How did you know about him?" He gave her the pilot's ID and told her, "I was trying to hint to you, but you didn't hear me." They started trying to communicate with the command headquarters and ask for help, but there was no response. After several attempts, someone responds to their call and answers them. Madeline answers him and tells him that the pilot is unconscious and I need help. He starts guiding her and asks her to inform him of their altitude and location. Indeed, she gave the full coordinates. From here, the sound starts to disappear and cuts off. Madeline was trying to reconnect, but the transmission signal disappears. Winston tells her that this person will inform the specialized authorities about our situation, and they will search for us. She remembers that her phone picks up satellite signals, so she takes it and calls her friend Caroline. She tells her that we were attacked and the pilot lost us in the Alaska mountains, and tells her that I am the one flying the plane now. She asks them to provide a plane as soon as possible, and also to send police to protect Winston's mother. When she ends the call, Daryl talks to them. They get scared and turn to him. He says to them, "I heard you need a pilot." Madeline makes a deal with him and tells him, "If you teach me how to fly the plane, I will reduce your prison sentence and say that you turned against Martini and your sentence will only be prison." But he refuses and tells them, "I don't care about prison. I have lived a long period of my life inside prisons. What matters to me now is that I feel the pleasure of the trip with you, and this plane must land on the ground before crashing and before you lose your lives." Suddenly, a call comes from the headquarters, and the caller informs her that his name is Hassan, and he says to her that he is an experienced pilot and can help her. She started giving him the plane's information, wind direction, and altitude. From here, he guides her to turn left and asks her to maintain the steering wheel stability. Then he asked her to pull the steering wheel and monitor the plane's direction indicator. When you reach the east, adjust the steering wheel, and the plane adjusts. He also asked her to activate the autopilot and keep monitoring the coastline. Then you turn toward Anchorage. He ends the call, and the plane continues its way in the ice mountains. Daryl, inside, was trying to untie the restraints from his hand and began monitoring them with his criminal eyes. He was trying to find a way to provoke them so they would attack him. He starts singing. Winston turns to him and says, "What were you waiting for, and why didn't you kill us and throw us from the plane at the beginning of the trip?" Daryl replies to him and says that he doesn't like flying alone, he likes to have companions with him. From here, he starts provoking Winston and asks him to come to him and that he will treat him as a wife. He told him that you are nice like your mother, and your mother is beautiful and nice like my mother. Madeline knows that he is suffering from psychological problems. He was trying to open the restraints on his hand. He sees the knife that was under Madeline's chair and starts talking to Winston, saying, quote, "I will send the pictures of your corpse to your mother after I kill you." Winston says to Madeline, "How did he know my mother's address? I didn't tell anyone about her address except during the investigation." She told him, "Do you mean there is someone in the American CIA office working for Mortini?" At that moment, Caroline calls and informs Madeline that they coordinated with the army. She told them that your plane is small in size compared to the mountains, and it doesn't appear on radars, so we need more planes so we can find you and reach you. During this, we know that he was trying to reach the knife. The plane started to pass near the mountains. Winston asks Madeline to understand what is happening. When the clouds cleared, they were facing the mountain and they were about to crash into it. Suddenly, Madeline was trying to pull the steering wheel at maximum speed, but it wasn't moving. Winston quickly closes the autopilot, and Madeline starts pulling the plane. Indeed, with great difficulty, she raised it upwards. Because of the sudden rise of the plane, the knife rolls and reaches Daryl, and he immediately grabs it. The plane hits the top of the mountain. Finally, we know that they were all fine. Daryl quickly takes the knife and hides it. He says to Madeline, "I am happy that you didn't kill Winston like the last detainee." Winston starts asking her and saying, "What does he mean by this talk?" Daryl tells him that the agent Madeline killed her last prisoner and she was subjected to prison. He told him, "You should be afraid of her, not of me." She went to him and asked him, "How did you know about this matter?" and started hitting him while he kept laughing. She hit him more than once. After that, she left him talking and returned to her place. But he told her, "I know that you haven't forgotten your crime, and your screaming will keep haunting you throughout your life." She goes back and starts hitting him on his face more than once. She left him and returned. But in the end, he managed to take her glasses when she was hitting him, and he broke them and started cutting the rope he was tied with. Madeline started telling Winston about the incident and told him that I was holding a girl named Maria, and she was a witness to her boyfriend's crimes. We stayed in the hotel for 3 days. She asked me to bathe alone, but I tied her in the bathroom so she wouldn't escape. But someone came and threw a firebomb from the bathroom glass, and she burned and died. Madeline then calls Caroline and tells her that the one who informed about the mission and betrayed us from inside the Marshal's headquarters is one of us, because Daryl knows all the details of my work. Caroline tells her that it's impossible for my team to betray me, and they were all checked. Madeline starts to doubt Caroline and wonders about Caroline's defense of her team. She calls the director's office again and they inform her that the director is not present. She insisted they find him as soon as possible. They connect her to the house located on the beach in the city of Cincinnati. She tells him that we have a leak of information in the office and someone is betraying us. She told him, "I expect that Agent Caroline is the one who betrayed us because she knows that I failed previously and might fail now." He told her, "I will search the information and get back to you." Meanwhile, they reach the coast and call Hassan. Hassan asks them to turn left and they must follow the coast. They learned that the fuel is only 25 liters. Hassan reassured them and told them it's enough for us until we land on the ground. After a while, Madeline learns from Winston that he left an amount of money in his account and that he will transfer it to the city of Cincinnati where the director is currently. Winston tells her, "A short while ago, we transferred the money to the city of Cincinnati." Madeline calls Caroline and tells her, "I found out who leaks the information, and it's the director, and I thought you were the one who betrayed me, so you must leave the office immediately." After that, she calls Hassan, and they inform him that they must see a shipwreck. He asked them to know its name, and they informed him of the ship's name. Immediately, he transferred the matter to the Coast Guard. They knew their location, and it was determined. They asked them to head left, and that they would reach the city of Anchorage within 30 minutes. The call ends, but suddenly Daryl attacks them and stabs Winston with the knife and starts strangling Madeline with a rope. Madeline was trying to hit him with the gun, but he takes it from her and goes back and stabs Winston in another place. Winston pulls the knife from his chest and cuts the rope on Madeline's neck with it. Daryl has the gun, so he fires bullets at Madeline, and she hides behind the pilot's seat. Finally, she managed to take the flare gun that was in the bag and fired a flare at him, hitting him in his chest and burning him. After that, she takes the fire extinguisher and hits him with it on his head, and he passes out immediately. She quickly goes and checks on Winston and helps him control the bleeding or gives him an injection. She thanked him because he saved her. Now we see Daryl tied to one of the seats. He regained consciousness. Hassan calls them, and Madeline informs him of the situation and tells him that Winston is injured and we must arrive quickly. He told her that we can increase the speed, but we will burn the fuel and the landing will be difficult. She agreed and told Hassan, "I absolutely cannot lose Winston." As for Winston, his condition started to worsen. She reassures him and tells him, "We will arrive and you must endure more, and you will be fine, and I must not lose you." She calls Caroline to check on her, but the director answers her and tells her that Caroline had an accident, a car hit her, and she died. Here, Madeline broke down and started crying. She told the director, "I know that you are behind all of this that you did, and I will imprison you myself, and I have all the evidence against you." Here, Hassan calls them and informs her that their plane appeared on the radar. He asked her to wear the headphones and talk to him. She checked on Winston, but suddenly, a plane comes near them. Winston and Madeline started to get very scared. She calls Hassan and asks him about this plane. He tells her that the plane belongs to the army, and its mission is to secure your protection in the air. Daryl hears his words and says to Winston, "Protection must come from within because you are next to danger and killing," referring to Madeline, trying to manipulate Winston. As for Madeline, she sees the runway and informs Hassan. He asks her to give him the air directions. He tells her that there are crosswinds and landing will be dangerous and difficult. But Winston's condition started to worsen, so she asks for landing permission immediately. Daryl was trying to free himself before they landed. He breaks his finger and was trying to get his hand out. Quickly, he attacks her and shifts the plane's path, but in the end, she shot him. Suddenly, the plane's engine stops. Hassan informs Madeline that she can land without the engine. He stayed with her and guided her on the altitude. She was trying to land the plane. As soon as the plane touches the ground, it bounces or rises again. As for Madeline, she was trying to control it. The fire truck and ambulance follow them. Because of the force of the impact, the plane's tire is torn off, and it hits one of the fire trucks and flips it. The plane continues to struggle on the runway. A part of the plane falls and the air pulls Daryl out and he falls on the runway, and the fire trucks hit and crush him. Finally, the plane stops. Rescue teams reach them. Madeline wakes Winston up and tells him, "We managed to reach the ground safely." The paramedics come and take Winston. She asks them about Daryl, so she learns that he was thrown from the plane and died. Quickly, she gets off the plane and sees Hassan, who was talking to her, and she smiled at him. A policeman passes behind him, and his look was suspicious. Here, Madeline began to doubt him. This policeman goes and gets into the ambulance that has Winston. Madeline runs quickly and opens the door and finds the policeman strangling Winston with a plastic bag. She fires at him and kills him. From here, she goes to check on Winston, whose life she managed to save more than once. Suddenly, she hears a call on the phone. It's the director, talking to the policeman. She answers him and tells him, "Your agent didn't finish the mission, but I finished it." We learn here that Madeline began to finish off the spies who were working with the drug dealer.